beyond the boundaries of reality, where imagination weaves dreams into existence. Welcome to Storylight. Lyria had always been drawn to the Evernight Spire, the colossal black tower that pierced the clouds on the edge of her village. It loomed in the distance, a monument of obsidian stone that absorbed light rather than reflected it. The spire was ancient, and the legends whispered that it was built by the Shadowforged, a race of beings who vanished centuries ago. No one dared approach it. But on the night of the winter solstice, Lyria found a letter tucked beneath her door. Its ink shimmered like stars, and its words summoned her to the spire with a single line. Your destiny awaits where the shadow meets the sky. Fighting fear and curiosity, Lyria took her father's old lantern and made her way through the frost-laden woods. The closer she came to the spire, the heavier the air felt, as though it carried the weight of forgotten sorrows. At the spire's base, a doorway stood open, glowing with a faint, ethereal light. Inside, the walls were lined with intricate carvings that pulsed with life. A voice echoed from the darkness, soft but commanding. Lyria of Eldenwood, you have been chosen. Will you ascend? Quote. The voice belonged to a man cloaked in shadow, his features obscured except for glowing amber eyes. He introduced himself as Karen, a guide bound to the spire by ancient magic. Lyria was skeptical but followed him, driven by a strange compulsion. The spire's interior was a labyrinth of spiraling staircases and corridors that seemed to twist and stretch endlessly. Karen explained that the spire was alive, testing those who entered to determine their worthiness. Its ultimate secret lay at the summit, but only those who passed the trials of the shadow could reach it. The first trial began in a hall filled with mirrors. Each reflected a version of Lyria, some younger, some older, some twisted with malice or sorrow. The reflections whispered her fears, failure, loneliness, loss. She had to confront these fears, walking past each mirror and refusing to believe in their lies. When she reached the hall's end, the mirrors shattered, and she felt lighter, though not entirely free. The second trial was the labyrinth of echoes. Each corridor seemed to stretch infinitely, but the path forward required her to follow a melody only she could hear. The song was hauntingly familiar, a lullaby her mother used to sing. When she hesitated or doubted, the echoes grew louder, disorienting her. But by trusting her heart, she found the way forward. Karen's demeanor changed as they ascended higher. He seemed both proud and sorrowful, warning her that the third trial would demand a sacrifice. You must give up what you hold most dear, he said, his voice heavy with regret. It is the spire's will. At the summit's gate, Lyria was shown a vision of her village. The spire revealed that her destiny lay beyond her home, in a world far grander but far more dangerous. If she chose to complete her ascent, she would never return. Tears filled her eyes as she thought of her family, her friends, and the life she had known. But she also felt a pull toward the unknown, a chance to become something greater than herself. Karen watched silently as she made her decision. She stepped through the gate, leaving her past behind. The summit was unlike anything Lyria had imagined. The sky above was a swirling tapestry of stars and shadows, and at the center of the chamber stood a crystalline throne. Karen explained that the throne held the power of the Shadowforged, a force that could reshape the world or destroy it. Only one who can wield light and shadow in harmony may claim it, he said. This is why you were chosen. As Lyria approached the throne, the shadows around her coalesced into a figure. Herself, but darker, with eyes like the void. The shadow spoke. You are not worthy. Prove your strength, or surrender to me. The battle was unlike any Lyria had faced. Her shadow mirrored her every move, exploiting her doubts and fears. But Lyria remembered the lessons of the trials. She was not defined by her fears, her past, or even her destiny. With this resolve, she embraced her shadow, uniting with it instead of fighting. The throne glowed as she sat upon it, and the power of the shadow forged flowed through her. Lyria awoke outside the spire, the obsidian tower now dormant and cold. The villagers found her, their eyes wide with awe as they noticed her hair streaked with silver and her eyes glowing faintly, like stars. She returned briefly to her home, but she knew she no longer belonged there. The spire had given her a purpose: to travel the world and maintain the balance between light and shadow, guiding others as Karen had guided her. Legends of Lyria spread far and wide, of the girl who conquered the Evernight spire and became its keeper. And though she often felt the ache of what she had left behind, she carried the stars within her, a constant reminder that her path was the right one. The story ends here, but countless others await in the vast expanse of imagination. Subscribe to Storylight for more journeys into the unknown. See you on the next adventure.